Besides regular fonts in Illustrator, we have what are called intelligent fonts. These are called variable and SVG fonts. Variable fonts in particular are very advanced forms of fonts which present a great convenience and a huge advancement in the way that we use fonts. So we'll begin with variable fonts, selecting the text and going to the character panel. Variable fonts can be found up above the second line. So here's the second line here. Up above here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 variable fonts. And we also know that these are variable fonts because they're denoted by the variable fonts symbol, which reads VAR. So selecting the variable font, Acumen variable concept, clicking upon that. Now to adjust this font, we can go to this button here, the variable font button, beneath the font name in the character panel. Clicking upon this, we're presented with 3 sliders in this case. We have weight, we have width, and we have slant. And I said in this case because sometimes you might be presented with less than 3 for some variable fonts. So with the weight slider, we can have a thin font, or we can move the slider up towards the right to create a more bold font, even into the realm of black, which is an ultra bold, or even an ultra black. Moving this down, you'll see the width is currently set at 100. If we were to bring this down, we have a more condensed font, which is one that's vertically dominant. In other words, we have tall characters. If we bring it towards the right hand side, here we have what's known as an extended font, where the characters are wide. So bringing that down slightly, now we have slant. Moving this towards the right hand side from the value of 0, it begins to apply an italic. So here it is at 12 with the greatest italic possible. And of course the sliders can be used in combination to provide different variations. So we have here what could be regarded as an ultra black condensed italic. So that's what we can achieve with variable fonts. Use of variable fonts eliminates the need to download sizable font families. They also eliminate the need for us to select fonts from a long list to achieve a certain look. Instead, we simply move the sliders until we're satisfied with the aesthetic. Note again that the sliders may differ from one variable font to the next, not only in quantity but in their actual function. The best way to grasp the function of the sliders is to just go right ahead and use them, and their effect will become apparent. So moving on to SVG fonts. SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphics. SVG fonts utilise what are known as glyphs. Glyphs are defined as hieroglyphic characters or symbols. In layman's terms, they are special characters in the font set. In SVG fonts, the glyphs are special, and they're special because they can be multicoloured and they can contain gradients. Therefore, a wide range of actual colourful graphics are stored within the font. It's essentially a library of vector images in font form. To view glyphs, we can select Window, scroll down to Type and select Glyphs. The Glyphs panel will then open and it will show you all the characters within that font set. We see the uppercase, we see the lowercase, we see the numerical characters as well as those used for general punctuation. Primarily it's the special characters which are regarded as glyphs and represent the function, or at least the main function of the Glyphs panel. The Glyphs panel is used to see what else is in a font set beyond what the standard key presses can provide. In this font set we have various characters used for pronunciation, perhaps in different languages. We also have symbols which are used for different currencies, to name but a few examples. As you'll see, all of them are the same colour, We have no fancy graphics, we have no multicolours, we have no gradients. It's a simple form and it's a simple colour. It shows as black for the preview, but of course a font is any colour we assign to it. However, if we select an SVG font, in this case I'm going to select Emoji 1. Besides the series of graphics in the preview here with smiley faces etc, I know this is an SVG font because it's denoted by the SVG symbol on the right hand side here. So clicking this, the glyph panel will update accordingly. Or if the glyph panel wasn't previously open and you select an SVG font, the glyph panel will automatically open. Now we see all the special graphical glyphs in this so-called font. We have smiley faces, the yellow ones that everyone knows of. We have different forms of faces, male, female, various skin colours, we have robots, and if we scroll down we can see so much more. The range of graphics in the font set is vast. So to utilise any of these we can select the type tool, click on the artboard, and rather than use the keyboard to type, we double click on the glyph or the graphic that we'd like to use. So let's double click this one, double click the next, double click another, and so forth. And here you'll see in each case the graphic is placed upon the artboard. Now this still stands as an actual font. If we want to use each one of these as graphics, with the line selected, we go to type and create outlines. Now outlines are created for each one of these, and if we go to object and ungroup, or we use the shortcut command or control shift and G, each one is now separated and we can use them independently. So that concludes our analysis of both variable fonts and SVG fonts. If you wish to use a particular font but you want to explore variations of it which can be tweaked to your own needs, a variable font may be the answer. If on the other hand you have use for graphical elements in your projects, be sure to keep SVG fonts in mind. Both offer entirely different features, yet both are useful in their own right.